A lot of people aren't making money in their business because they're actually underpricing, and that is a problem. And so in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to price appropriately for inflation, for you to be able to help other people with that money, for you to be able to pay your own bills with that money. And so we have to think strategically. I'm going to have my computer up in this video because I'm going to be showing you guys my screen on how I teach pricing inside of Consecration Academy. Before we dive deep into this, could you do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to this channel? Because every time you subscribe to this channel and like a video, it actually sends this video further and further along throughout YouTube's algorithm. So this way other people can grow, learn, and scale their businesses too. And if you're like, okay, this all sounds really great, but like what even gives you the qualification to teach pricing? Hi, my name is Sienna Kopishki, and I am a Christian sales coach. I teach Christian entrepreneurs how to scale their businesses to $20,000 months on repeat using my formulated system, PMVMS, which stands for Prayer, Mindset, Visibility, Marketing, and Sales. I actually teach this inside of my signature one-on-one and group coaching program called Consecration Academy. Speaking of Consecration Academy, I have a quick little highlight for you on Consecration Academy, so go check it out, and then when we come back, we're going to dive deep into the realm of pricing appropriately for your success. I'll see you soon. Before we jump into today's video, I need to talk to the woman who feels like she is doing everything right in her business, but yet it kind of feels like God has gone silent. You keep creating the content, you're posting, you're praying, you're showing up, you're serving your audience, you're supporting everyone else. And internally, you are starting to wonder, when is it going to be my turn? When is God going to show up for me? When are the clients going to start rolling in? That is probably some of the questions that you have. You are tired of sowing seed after seed after seed and not seeing the harvest, not seeing the blossom, the fruits of your labor. You're tired of putting on a brave face for all your family members and friends about your business and pretending like everything is going well in your business. Pretending like, oh yeah, I'm hitting those high income months, or pretending like everything's fine even though you are barely seeing the income that you want to make. You love Jesus. You love the Lord with all of your heart, your might, and your soul. But honestly, you're feeling discouraged, disappointed, and you're starting to doubt your own capability. If that woman is you, I want you to know something. I created Consecration Academy just for you. Just for the woman who's wondering, when is it going to be her turn? When is it going to be your turn? That's who Consecration Academy is for. Consecration Academy is not a fluffy, feel-good program. This is a high-level, spirit-led program for the woman who's done pretending that everything is okay and is ready to actually step into the abundance that God has for her, the abundance that God has for her business. Inside of Consecration Academy, you are going to get access to 2 one-on-one calls every single month. These are 60-minute in-depth strategy sessions where me and you are going to really go through your entire business. It's where the Holy Spirit gets to meet us in that place, and the 3 of us get to figure out how are we going to grow and scale and see success in your business. On top of your 2 monthly calls with me, you also are going to receive access to our community chat so you can cheer on other students in Consecration Academy and also be poured into. It's not enough to pour into everybody else, but you never get poured into. Now is the time for you to also be able to receive other people cheering you on and showing you that your business matters too. Inside of Consecration Academy, you're going to get every week, Monday, we do prayer calls. And so you'll be able to pray with other women who are on fire for Jesus, other women who are ready to see an impact in their business. And every Wednesday, you're going to get one of the following calls. We're either going to be doing a group coaching call on your visibility, on your marketing, on your sales, right? On your mindset, so you can show up in the best possible way. You get hands-on support in a group setting on Wednesdays, which is so incredibly awesome in case we didn't cover everything in our one-on-one sessions. On top of that, you get unlimited voice note access to me daily, so we can work on things outside of our group coaching calls and outside of our one-on-one calls. It's time for you to receive true support. You get access to a course inside of Consecration Academy, which takes you through all of the steps of prayer, mindset, visibility, marketing, and sales, which is the core foundational pillar of Consecration Academy. And last but not least, inside of Consecration Academy, you are going to get access to your own private tailored course, which is just for you and your business. This is where you're going to access your previously recorded one-on-one calls and every single piece of strategy that me and you have talked through either in DMs or on one-on-ones for you to continue to grow. So you have all of your notes, so you can just come to the call talking rather than taking notes and speaking with me. I want to make sure that you feel supported and loved on during our time together, because we are going to grow your business with the Holy Spirit to $20,000 months. The investment for Consecration Academy is $2,000 a month with extended payment plans as low as $250 a month. Because I never want money to be the reason that you delay what God is calling you to do. If you're ready to step into $20,000 months with the strategy, support, and Holy Spirit that you have been praying for, then I want you to go ahead and apply for Consecration Academy by clicking the link in the description below. You don't have to keep doing this alone. Now, let's dive into today's video. Okay, so what you are looking at right now is what we call the pricing worksheet. This is something that I use for all of our Consecration Academy clients. Inside of this pricing worksheet, I'm going to walk you through how to use it so that way you can start growing and scaling your business as well, because it is so important that we are not basing our prices off of our feelings, but rather off of reality, okay? And so in this pricing worksheet, the very first column that we see here is what we call the goal setting and 90-day totals. So we need to set goals so we know exactly how much to price based off of the goals that we have. Now, you can do this math manually, or you can do it with the pricing calculator that is linked down below in the description, so you can go ahead and download it or make a copy of it. But here's exactly what we're going to do. First, I want you to write out how many hours per week that you actually want to work. And that column is called hours to work per week. So do you want to work 10 hours a week? Do you want to work 30 hours a week? Do you want to work 40 hours a week? Do you want to work 50 hours a week? Whatever that looks like, you're going to fill that in. Next, I want you to think of what is your yearly goal. And I need you to be specific here. Now, I want you to think about how much money you would realistically need to make to pay your 4 walls. So your 4 walls are your house. That's going to be things like your rent or your mortgage, depending on where you live, your electricity, your water, your sewage, your groceries. Think of how much money do you need on a yearly basis in order to pay for gas. So estimate cost of gas, estimate cost of the car insurance or the car payment if you have one. If you take the bus to or from places, how much does it cost you on average to take that bus, right? I want you to focus in on you first, because if you can't even pay your basics, then there's a problem. How much money do you need to make every month to just make the minimum payments on all of your credit cards? I need you to estimate all of that. After you've estimated your 4 walls, your body, right? What do you need in your house? So how much money does it cost you to buy things like laundry detergent, fabric softener, body wash, shampoo, conditioner, whatever products it is that you put in your hair? Like, how much on average every month or yearly does that come out to? You want to add up the yearly prices for everything, your internet, your cable, your whatever it is that you have, all of your subscriptions, and figure out how much money do you realistically need to make in a year in order for you to survive, okay? How much money do you need for groceries every single month? Calculate that over a year, add that in, okay? Then I want you to think of how much do you want to give to others? How much do you realistically want to tithe? How much on a yearly basis? How much do you realistically want to give to organizations that help the homeless, help widows, help poor people? How much do you want to give to your neighborhood people who need food, right? Like, everybody has people in their area that are homeless, that are on the streets, and they're asking, like, how much do you want to be able to give to those people? How much do you want to be able to, on a yearly basis, buy in Bibles to keep in your house? So every time you see someone, you can, right? Like, I want you to start thinking about all of these things. How much money do you need to not only help you, but to also take care of other people? Okay, because that is important. For some of us, we're going to say $100,000 a year minimum is what we need to take care of ourselves and others. For some of us, that number might be $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000. We have to be realistic though, okay? Think about how much money you want to make in a year and put that in this calculator. Now, if you're already making a certain amount, maybe your next income goal would be, you want to make $100,000 or $200,000 a year, whatever that looks like. But let's be strategic about like that amount. So then I want you to put in the yearly gross salary. That's why these are different colors than the total hours and all the things. So for this example, in my calculator, I have put in, I want to work 40 hours a week and I want to make $100,000 a year for the whole 12 months, $100,000 across 12 months. That it's going to automatically calculate the total amount of hours in a year that I am going to work will be 480 hours a year. The total for the whole year, the total amount of monthly income that I would be making would be about $8,333, and the total hourly rate that I would be charging is $52 an hour. This will allow me to be able to understand where I need to go from here. So now I'm going to put in my first package. So inside the base package column, I need to put in all the things that I'm going to be doing. So for example, let's say that for your base package in the column, if you are, I don't know, let's say you're a social media manager. By the way, this does not work for product-based business owners. I do not even have one for product-based business owners, but there are a lot of tools on Etsy that you can buy that are pricing calculators, okay, for product business owners. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in our base package. So maybe in your base package, you as I said that you're a social media manager, you're going to do content creation. Then next, the next thing that you're probably doing as a social media manager is the copywriting for the captions. The next thing you're probably going to be doing is trending audio search. Then you're going to want to do analytic research. Okay. Then from there, you're going to want to maybe create Instagram stories. I don't know. Then we need to think about how much does it take? How much time does it take per thing? So maybe content creation for you in a monthly basis will take you about 10 hours a month. Okay. Maybe copywriting also, maybe it's half of that because you're just writing it based on the content you've already created. Maybe that's 5. Maybe searching for trending audio is 1 hour a week, which comes out to 4 hours a month. Maybe analytic research, you're doing that for 1 hour a month. Maybe Instagram stories, that's going to take you about 5 hours to do total for the entire month. So now that means that package amount is going to be $1,302. That is based on your hourly rate of $52 an hour for all the hours that you are doing. And it is based off of your goals of reaching $100,000 for 40 hours of work per week. And I hope that makes sense, because once we have a calculator that can do it for us, we are not thinking about how much we should charge, when we should charge, why we should charge it that way. There's no feelings involved. There's just simply, this is my goal. I want to make $100,000. Maybe that's for you. And this is how many hours I'm willing to work. Okay. So I definitely hope that makes sense for you. I hope that you start to implement this if you are a service-based business owner, and that you are able to start growing and scaling. Because your numbers shouldn't be based on feelings. Your numbers, like people saying, oh, you don't know what to charge your worth. That doesn't even make any logical sense, and it gives no one a starting place on how to properly charge their business. We are not going to undercharge anymore. You are worth making money. And here's the thing, I used to undercharge myself. When I first started off as a social media manager, I was only charging $300 a month for social media management. I was charging that, and I was so tired of doing social media management for $300 because I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to ever hit 6 figures with charging $300. There's no way I'm working this much. I used to put hours and hours and hours into content creation, into showing up on site for my clients, because I only had local clients at that time, and recording, and then coming home, and then editing and batching and all of the things. And I remember just feeling so exhausted. I was like, I am working like 50 hours a week, I felt like, for one client. I don't even know how I added in multiple clients at that time. I was working so many hours trying to get it all done, trying to do the research to like figure out what it is that they needed and what would actually help them to convert into sales, what would actually drive in traffic for them. I was trying to do all of these things to grow and scale and make them viral, which I did do, and help their business to grow. that I became drained because the amount of money that I was charging did not equate to the amount that I was being paid. That the amount of money I should have been being paid, okay? It didn't equal. And so I became burned out very, very fast. So much so that I didn't want to work. I didn't want to show up in my business. I didn't want to take the action. I hated what I was doing. I was undercharging myself, and I was tired of missing out on opportunities and time with my family for pennies. And I don't want you to make the same mistake that I did. You know, I share these stories in a lot of my videos about like a lot of the lessons and the hardships that I learned and how I even have all the information that I have today. It is because I lived it. I had to go through it myself and experience that burnout, that like, when I talk about burnout, I'm not just talking about, oh, I feel so overwhelmed. I'm talking about that burnout that makes you cry all night, cry into the morning, barely getting any sleep, feeling almost depressed and hopeless because you are trying to do it all and take care of all these clients, but also taking care of your family. And you feel like you're failing. You feel like you're failing yourself. You feel like you're failing your spouse and your child. You feel like you're failing in business. I remember that feeling, that lonely, dark feeling, all because I was undercharging. And I have been determined ever since to never undercharge myself again, to never believe that I'm not worth a specific amount of money based on the work that I'm putting in. And I'm determined to making sure that every client that walks through the doors of Consecration Academy always feels supported, always feels heard, always feels seen, and never, ever undercharges themselves. Because the minute you undercharge yourself is the minute you feel walked all over. And so we don't price based off of emotions. We price based off of truth. We price based off of goals. We price based on strategy so we can make more money and scale and grow to new heights without suffocating ourselves. Okay, I really hope that you've learned something from this video today. If you have, could you please, if you didn't do this in the beginning, give this video a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel so more and more people can learn how to properly price themselves. And if you are tired of playing it small, you're tired of sitting on the sidelines while everybody else seems to be hitting their high income months and you're wondering, God, when is it going to be my turn? Then I want to invite you to apply to Consecration Academy. Go ahead and check it out. The link for Consecration Academy is down in the description below for you to review. Also, here's some action steps for you. I really want you to price yourself out. Really figure out what is your hourly rate, how much hours are you working based off of what it is that you do, and charge accordingly. Without further ado, my friends, I'm going to see you in the next video. So talk to you then. Bye.